This is the introductory module for OpenClinica training. In this module, we have certain objectives that we want to complete. Understand the key concepts used in OpenClinica, use basic functions in OpenClinica, such as logging the menus, understand the layout of the subject matrix, this is the primary screen in OpenClinica, and use miscellaneous functions. There are several key concepts we also want to cover. This includes understanding OpenClinica's terminology, understanding the key concepts in OpenClinica, and grasping the look and feel of OpenClinica and how it navigates. There are certain key terms in OpenClinica that we should understand. The first one is study. This is a clinical trial or research study. Then there's the site, which is the hospital or clinic. The subject is a patient or participant in the research study. The study event is equivalent to a clinical trial visit, and it's made up of one or more ECRFs. Now, the ECRF is the electronic case report form. It's generally made to mimic the paper case report form and may be divided into sections. Then there's the subject casebook, which is a complete series of the study events for a given subject. Then the term item is used for a question on the ECRF. Another term that's often used is field. The discrepancy note is a query or comment related to an individual data value. Now we're going to go over some key software functions. The subject matrix, as I mentioned before, is the primary screen on OpenClinica and provides you with a summary of the subjects in your study. The view and enter data is equivalent to for view read only and for data entry write access to the ECRF. The schedule is a way you can create a new event. Remember, an event is equivalent to a study visit. The add a new subject functionality allows you to add a new subject to your study. This is study dependent. Check with your QPS project manager if you'll need to use this. Certain studies have the subjects preloaded. Then there's notes and discrepancies, and remember, a discrepancy is a query. This allows you to view, answer, and manage your discrepancies. Now we're going to talk about the basic look and feel of OpenClinica. OpenClinica is a web-based application, and you need a browser to access it. Internet Explorer version 7 and 8 are compatible with OpenClinica. And also Mozilla Foxfire is also a compatible browser. OpenClinica is a mouse-driven application. Avoid using the arrow keys to move about the data entry screens. Use the mouse. The tab can be used, but the mouse is more efficient. OpenClinica is a web-based application, as I said. You click once on an item and wait for a response. Do not double-click. Avoid using the back and forward browser buttons. These will only get you in trouble. Use the navigation system within OpenClinica. The next thing we're going to cover are the basic functions in OpenClinica. During this section of the training, we will demonstrate using OpenClinica some basic features such as logging in, resetting a forgotten password, and the OpenClinica screen layout. The first screen that you'll see when you go to the OpenClinica website will be the logon page. Here you'll be logging in. You'll enter your username and the password. Initially, QPS will send you a password to log on to your study. Once you enter the password and log on, you'll be taken to the Reset Password page. Here you'll enter your old password that was originally sent to you by QPS, and then you'll enter your own original password. This should be made up of both characters and numbers and be at least 8 characters long. You'll then confirm the new password, and then you'll select a challenge question. You'll enter an answer to this challenge question. Please remember this answer, because if you forget your password and then click on the Forget Password button on the logon page, you will have to give an answer to your challenge question. And it's prompting me to log on. I entered my username, and I'll enter my password. I hope I remember it. And I'll log in. It worked. Okay, here is the home page, and this gives me a summary of what's happening at my site. My site is called QPS. I've got a couple people enrolled, and I expect 10 people more to enroll. My expected enrollment rather is 10 people. Here's a summary of my events. Remember, an event is a visit. You can think of it that way. Here's a little message screen, and it tells me the last time I logged in. And at the top is the menu. Here's the home screen, which is what we're looking at now. The subject matrix, which I'll discuss in a little bit. That's the primary page. Notes and discrepancies. This is a summary of the notes and discrepancies. And remember, a discrepancy is a query. Here's the study audit log, and here's the tasks that I can perform. Do not use these, report, issue, and support. This is not relevant to the QPS system. Instead, if you have a question or you want to find out about something, hit the contact button and a message will be sent to the the QPS OpenClinica help desk. We're back at the home screen again, and let's look at the sidebar briefly, because here's once again is alerts and messages where you'll get information from the system, and you can close that or open it just like all the other categories on the sidebar. The next one's instructions. Here's some instructions that can go here from the system. Here's a little overview of the site and the study, but most importantly, here's the icons, and I know I've already mentioned them, but this gives you the statuses of the ECRFs, and this gives you the actions that are available to you. Now let's go to the subject matrix. Subject matrix shows the body of the database. Here we have 2 subjects. Your study will have many more. And here we have the events, for example, screening, adverse event, and concomitant medication. Your study will again have many more, and they'll go horizontally. From here, you can do several things. You could open an ECRF. This ECRF data entry is already started, and I can click on this and I can view the data or enter data, edit data, or remove the entire visit or the ECRF there. Okay, let's go to notes and discrepancies. This gives you an overview of the discrepancies for this site. These are the status flags. We'll go over those again later. And it also shows you the queries in which outstanding they have to be dealt with. These are the outstanding queries. We'll skip the study log and we'll go to tasks. What tasks shows you what you can do, some functions that are available to you. And what is available to you depends upon your role. My role is data manager, so I can do many things. Now, here I want to point this out. This is the famous Add Subject menu option. This is where you can add a subject to your study. But remember, this is dependent on the type of study you're running. Some studies have subjects preloaded. Others will allow you to add subjects. Okay, now let's go over here and click on my name. This is my user profile. From here, I can change my password. I can change the answer to my challenge question. I can add information about myself, phone numbers, and email. But since I don't want to change anything, I'm going to click cancel and go back. Now here is a very interesting button. If you're working on more than one study, you can click on this and go from one study to another. I'm not going to click on this because this will show you all the studies I'm involved with, but just remember, if you're working on more than one study, that's where you can switch. Alright, now let's log out. Okay, we're back to the login screen. And I just want to emphasize here that these videos that you're going to look at just give you an overview of OpenClinica Enterprise. On the training website, you will find the OpenClinica user manual. This has all the answers. And if you have a question from seeing the videos, you can go back to the user manual and find the answer. And also you can replay these videos if you're unsure about something.